Hey guys, Scotland's Football here, back with another video, and today we are back with the second legs, another week of the Europa League Round of 32 predictions. This week it's the second legs, and we'll be trying to see who will be going through to the next round, which is the round of 16. All to look forward to. All of these games are only one of these games in neutral venues. There's only one game tie being played at a neutral venue, and I'll tell you what the tie is when we go down into the ties. Most of the ties are for Spurs, for example. They're playing at home, so any other team are just playing at their own home venue. There's only one ground at a neutral venue. So right, guys, let's get into the first game, which is Spurs versus Wolfsburger. The score in the first leg was 4-1 to Spurs, so I think we all know Spurs are going through now. Game is on in 1 hour's time, so I'm probably gonna have to release this video really quickly. Actually, here I am gonna say, I imagine that Spurs will probably rotate the lineup now because they probably know they're through. So I'm gonna say a comfortable 2-0 win to Spurs. Right, the next game now, which is Arsenal versus Benfica. The score in the first leg was 1-1, and that was played at a neutral ground. And this tie will be played at a neutral ground in Greece, at Olympia Archos' ground. I can't announce the stadium, but I'll just say it's their ground because I know it's their ground. It's good. This is tough for call, really, because it was quite dull, tie and dead game in the first leg. Here, if I was to say someone's going to win, I will say it will be very low scoring. So I'm going to say 1-0 to Arsenal. I think they'll just add that little bit of quality onto Benfica. And Arsenal got knocked out of the FA Cup this season. I don't think they're going to. You might be lucky to even get in Europa League if Fred. You might not even get in that, so they probably want to do quite well in this competition. So I'm going to say 1-0 to Arsenal. So we're on to the next game now, which is Glasgow Rangers versus Antwerped. Well, what a win for Rangers last week, 4-3 at Antwerped. Great victory for them. What a game that was, in a 7-goal thriller in Belgium. I watched that as well. Great game. We saw last year when Rangers beat Braga at Ibrox. You know what, in this game, I reckon Rangers will go through, and I reckon it will be 3-2 to Glasgow Rangers. I think that they're going to do the exact same thing. We said last year they were 2-0 down against 2-0 down against Braga in the second leg, and they then won 3-2. Forgot what the first leg score was. So I reckon that Antwerp will be 2-0 up, and then Rangers get 3 goals back to go through. So that will be 7-5 an aggregate to Rangers. So right, the next game now, which is Villarreal versus Salzburg. First leg, it was 2-0 to Villarreal. Here it's closer than a lot of people thought in the first leg as well. I do reckon Villarreal will go through, but I think it will be tight again. But Villarreal won't thrash Salzburg. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Villarreal. I think they'll get a consolation goal in the tie, Salzburg. Right, next game now, which is Hoffenheim versus Molde. 6-goal thriller in the first leg, away in Norway at Molde, 3-3. Here, I do fancy Hoffenheim to win the tie. And I do reckon there'll be 3 goals in this game. And I reckon that Hoffenheim are going to score all the 3 goals and win 3-0 against Molde. But it could be a lot closer than 3-0 to Hoffenheim, though. Meaning that they will win 6-3 on aggregate against Molde. So right, the next game now, which is Nepali versus Granada of Spain. Well, of course, the game in the first leg was 2-1 to Granada. That shocked a lot of people. Here, do I think Nepali can respond? I think they can, and I reckon they can get a 2-0 win here. So that means they'll win 3-2 on aggregate to that. So our next game now, which is Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine versus Maccabi Tel Aviv of Israel. Well, of course, Shakhtar did very well last year, and he just beat Maccabi Tel Aviv last week 2-0. I reckon it will be the same thing will happen, and I reckon it will be 2-0 to Shakhtar Donetsk, meaning it will be 4-0 in aggregate, and basically easy as you like for Shakhtar Donetsk. Right, next tie now, which is Ajax versus Lille. It was a very close game in the last leg where Ajax won 2-1. Here, I reckon Ajax can still do quite well in Europa League still and can progress to another round. So here, I'm going to go with the same scoreline like I said about the Shakhtar Donetsk Maccabi Tel Aviv, except it's not easy as you like for Ajax over Lille. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Ajax, meaning the win 4-2 in aggregate. So right to the next game now, it's Club Brugge versus Dynamo Kiev. Funnily enough, this tie last time in Ukraine was played at 3 o'clock. Earliest tie last week to be played, and it was 1-1. The team that I call here Dynamo Kiev, I call them Chicken Kiev. Can Chicken Kiev get another draw against Club Brugge, or can Club Brugge take the tie? I reckon Club Brugge will take the tie, but I think won't be much in it, and I think really be a pretty boring tie really. So right, next game now, which is Manchester United versus Real Sociedad. Well, of course, last game it was 3-0 to Manchester United. It's closer than a lot of people would say, and harsher than Real Sociedad to lose 3-0, and he did deserve a goal at least. Here, I can't see anything but a Man United win. They're at Old Trafford and they're at home as well. Can Bruno score another? I can't see why not. Bruno tends to get at least an assist, or at least one assist or a goal in every game. On average, really, I reckon, anyway. So here, I'm going to say 2-0 to Man United, but it meaning the win 5-0 in aggregate. Easy as you like, except Villarreal wins just actually feel like they've been thrashed though, because they played quite well in the first leg. It will be 5-0 in aggregate to Manchester United. So right, next game now, which is AC Milan versus Red Star Belgrade. Oh, in the first leg, it was 2-2 at Red Star. Surprised me, to be honest. I thought AC Milan would probably take control and it'll be really easy for AC Milan. Here, AC Milan at home at the San Siro. I reckon the top of the league. I think they're doing quite well this year. Could get in the Champions League next year. I'm gonna say 2-0 to AC Milan. Well, AC Milan used to be everything years ago. They were winning everything. Right, next game now, which is Leicester versus Slavia Prague. Probably one of the most boring ties last week, as it finished 0-0. Once we go on to AC Milan, I'm going to say what the aggregate score is on AC Milan versus Red Star Belgrade. The score over 2 legs will be 4-2 to AC Milan. So right, Leicester versus Slavia Prague now. That was the most boring game last week. I think it finished 0-0. Can Leicester go through? After at the King Power, I reckon they can go through. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Leicester, which means that will be the aggregate score. Right, on to AC Milan versus Braga now. Last game it ended 2-0 to Roma. Sorry, you could say, some people can say it's all over, but not necessarily. Braga got knocked out in the round of 32 last year, but he did quite well in the group stage though. Get knocked out by Rangers. Here, I can see them probably going out again, but I can see it being quite close at the Stadio Olimpico. So I'm going to say 1-1. Then Roma go through due to aggregate. So I'm going to say go 3-1 in aggregate to Roma. So right, next game now, Dynamo Zagreb versus Krasnodar. Dynamo Zagreb with Croatia. I can't remember where Krasnodar is now. So here, it finished 3-2 in the first leg. So here, I'm going to say that Dynamo Zagreb are going to go through. I don't really know anything about these clubs really. Krasnodar's Russia, I think, yeah. So I reckon here, 1-0 Dynamo Zagreb. Right, next game now, which is Bayer Leverkusen versus Young Boys. Well, this surprised me last week. Young Boys winning 4-3. I thought Leverkusen would take fully control of the tie. Can Bayer Leverkusen come back? As at the Bar Arena, I think they can come back. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Bayer Leverkusen, meaning that it will finish 5-4 in aggregate to Bayer Leverkusen. For the next game now, it is Eindhoven versus Olympia Archos. Eindhoven, the second best team in Netherlands, the top team being Ajax. We get Eindhoven up against Olympia Archos. Well, last season it was really tough for us. It was a huge battle against them, to be honest. And that's the tie in this game. That's finished 4-2 to Olympia Archos. So you could say that Olympia Archos are through due to the amount of goals they scored. But due to the score, it's not all over for Eindhoven, except I can't see anything but Olympia Archos win. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Olympia Archos, meaning that the tie will finish 6-3 to Olympia Archos. So now I'll go on to the bit where I've missed out saying the aggregate scores for some of the games. So Spurs, right? Spurs versus Wolfsburger, it'll finish 6-1 to Spurs. Benfica, Arsenal versus Benfica, that'll finish 2-1 to Arsenal. Villarreal versus Salzburg finish 4-1 to Villarreal. So the other times I missed out. Ajax to win 4-2 in aggregate against Lille. Club Brugge versus Dynamo Kiev tied to finish 2-1 to Club Brugge on aggregate. I think AC Roma versus Braga, that will be finished 3-1 to Roma on aggregate. The Dynamo Kiev versus Krasnodar tie will finish 4-2 to Dynamo Zagreb on aggregate. And Bayer Leverkusen versus Young Boys, I reckon it will finish 6-3 on aggregate to Bayer Leverkusen. So right, hope that will be the end of the video now. So if you did enjoy the video, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, and also turn on your notifications every time I make a video. I'll be back with a video that will be coming out either today or tomorrow or later on. So see you later then, guys. Have a good one. Bye, guys.